Check.
Ah,
Check.
Joanna.
Oh, check. China.
Oh, yeah.
So first I talk a little bit, then we can have questions. Today our subject a little bit discussion about Rimé. First, we have to think very carefully what is Rimé.
Rimé is the folk categories.
Rimé is a Tibetan word.
Ris chapa the Fionia Bahong on the Dawachiris.
Ris chapa means falling two side. So for instance, if you ride the house, if we didn't stay straight forward, and if we fall in one side, if we are falling side is lot, that means we'll fall down. So also similar when we measure in the traditional, I don't know name, Jama, the kilo, how to measure.
Oh yeah, the scale.
Scale. Yeah, okay, scale. And if any part, if you fell, is not right, so you have to stay balanced.
Okay.
So mid means non-existent. So that's why. So Rimé means not like this. So then is balanced. So therefore, Rimé means like more balanced and more equanimity and more the truth. So ancient texts say, not saying you have to be Rimé two different lineages. Instead, they're saying you should be Rimé and have pure perception or the Dharma. All over the world, when people have this view of the religion is unbalanced and unbiased, so therefore you have fighting with religion or that kind of impure perceptions arises. So therefore, the Buddha Shastra is Dharma is more attempt and balanced your own the afflictions and your own the view and feelings. So this is the main focus.
상지 출을 그런 그 민라양 아 상지 출을 영화지위地名라양 냥한 린디비 람데 지바라고 요리 냥한 디디가 타서 다 등거라 와당 아 심처리 제야당 모두가 형아 떠솔이 관나고 그 답시 때라 당 냥한 린디비 람데 비요
In general, the Buddha's Dharma we call pacify this nyangan. So nyangan means the suffering or worry, that kind of this is you make pacify.
상지 출을 있나 때나지 연고요 냥한 린디비 람 연고요
So as long as Buddha's Dharma must be that kind of path, there is no other way.
옛날양 추도 상마요리는 강사가 왕도 신이 다 나한테 출린디 나로라양 지 가브레 리젠임바 가브레 리미임바 나오 지 망보지 총대요.
So regardless what Dharma pure, the Dharma holders, the people, sometimes some people is balanced, some people are not balanced, some remain, some not remain. That kind of problems time to time rises. So this is we have to see. This is a person's, people's problem. It's not the Dharma problem. Sometimes we the people's problem and people's attempt this weakness we mistake with the Dharma, so that sometimes happened. So Dharma is always pure, no matter how you analyze. It's timeless, pure. But the sentient beings have afflictions in general, and also especially in this Suddha Nyingma, which means this era is like more bias and conflict time. So therefore, many problems rise. Therefore, anybody is considered as practitioner. We always have to be mindful our own problems. We not mix in with the Dharma. So the Dharma is the first. We have to tend ourselves, and after tend ourselves, then you can naturally respect others and you care others, and therefore you build a good relationship with each other and exchange experiences and improvement, help each other. So when we say Rimé, it doesn't mean we have to have mix everything. Instead, you understand each other and appreciate each other and help each other. So if we do Rimé, that helps in this lifetime and the other lifetimes.
저런 그 암초가 나라라 칠강당 강그 민고나양 자투나양 띠분통나양 강사 지금 나오나요? 때라 때니 질라 뭐디와 용제도 매바 차다디 때라 때니 질라 갑디 지치기요레.
If you are Rimé, then you hear any other traditions, dharma, awards, and prayer, anything, image, anything you had this encounter, and then you have make your mind is joy and peace and appreciation.
Chitanga ngaran to ta chulig zangan kain hamagoji. Leani kain hamagoji tila jise yang jejo da mares. Yinna yang kikurt chiko yore.
So some of the religions or practices we don't know really they are good or not, and something like that. That kind of ones is not like you inspire by them because you don't really know yet, but still you have to have a respect of them.
Chili jamba jila ngaran to chunju jeji yinna. Poksa da mo sing mares. Kang da mambo jila pok do yore. Ti shongzen mambo jila pok do yore. Ti nimji tawa jingba, julam jingba, chujin jingba, ti chokbo la sokba mambo jila da pok do yore.
So if we criticize any kind of religion or the systems, and this is very big destruction because it's not just harms one or two people. Instead, many of people, even one person we did this, and the person's all the connections, relatives and friends, and they share in the same religion, or all of them destruct. So we make some kind of disruption and for all of them. So therefore, of course, we made quite impact on our own mind. For instance, if you did that and then the other people criticize back to you, and then this makes two sides of the many people's mind is disturbed. So therefore, many of the disruptions or that kind of painful in mind is come from each other's religion, or those didn't enough of respect. So therefore, we have to avoid that kind of criticism and or pure perception. Instead, judgmental. Instead, we have to non-judgmental and more respect. It's worth to effort. So how to be remembered in the past? There's many of the noble beings shown us many ways. Firstly, all the practitioners from the lower and the medium and the high, that kind of process is already established.
That
kind of process achieving different stages of the practitioners have different capacity of sentient beings that can they can help.
상지의 줄을 단다지니 에와 망보지니 주지 봉보 자체의 동지 파를 리나양 쳐 타바선라 철 리나양 쳐 돈지 출력지 인리종대 상지 출력지 인리종대 상마 상장인 빙가라서 nd시주 토만 해보거든.
So regardless of that 84,000 dharmas, or you can make benefit of 3 vehicles. Whatever range we think of, any of range of the Dharma and any of these followers, traditions and lineages, all of them is very pure and beneficial. We have to have that kind of perception established first.
그 상마 그 나랑도 그 돈바 어디라 샤바 담비다고 지금바 그 nd시주 찍거든.
Also, it's very important to remind ourselves, regardless what tradition you are, our teacher, this is the one only one, the Buddha Shakyamuni. Very important to remind that.
나랑 좀 우리한테 저기 돈바도 양탁바나 참마 덴바 초대저와 임바 때라 나랑 좀 기바거든.
So our the teacher, the ultimate teacher, that Buddha Shakyamuni is pure and valid and trustworthy. That we have to realize.
아니 출리가 장게 돈바 나토 요아리 출리가 장게 짐당마 망보 요아리 대 상마라 상지 되라서 비 냥보 요바테 나랑 좀 killing 거거든.
There's other teachers and other traditions and other followers, other religion. This all of them we have to remind ourselves. All of them have Buddha nature.
단디 상지엔면다 하고 말이다. 마음발라도 상마도 상지엔바다 나랑서 남바 갔다와 찜튼데.
So regardless right now is Buddha or Bodhisattva or not or ordinary. For in the future, every of them is Buddha. That is, we all Buddha Shakyamuni followers have to agree with this. So right now, every sentient being have the Buddha nature. This is of course.
다 참미지원인바그 다바직지아당 양다가 상마라 되라셔비 냥보 요바다그 김통직제야당 김통침부제야그 삼로직지용거리.
So if we have this kind of appreciation and respect on our own Buddha, and also the others we knowing is their Buddha nature, and then this make us we have the confidence our own Buddha, and we have the still we have understand important of the others.
근데 상지 출력 난카라 리미제 땅도 다 람나나 출진 소수 스타트업 라 투삼이야 보지 니바 땅자 뭐지 니니 제가 탐지지 공박 찍된 거지도 또 거도.
So within the Buddhist traditions, between each other, how to be Rimé is the best way. Is you have to study all of their doctrines and the practices and conduct. So then you know exactly how they are all is beneficial equally, and they are all is same purpose, found or same purpose. That we have to have realization.
gomtirji goni nanda chopi goni nanda tela chabar ji yori tena ina tawi goni ngana so thama to ji kwa yimba tela ngisi ya boji che song na ramjin sig rimi cha song na ri choka kari tang na anda chari jitar shi na anda to rimi ya shu de ri samgyo.
Regardless the conduct are different, and regardless the meditation methods are different, but the viewpoint and what we believe in or understand is the same, and this is quite important.
Teta Mashina, Ganato Sanji Jum than the Ganato Namba in New Zone, Tomba stick by Yimba, the Ninganato Namba Sanji Baji in New Zone, Tawata Tonio Sari Caridina, there Sapino Bogiopa and Dokiopa. Tani Cuba the Jalanoba Machig and Theaton Travatin Dokiopa, Tasotamla, some not on.
If you cannot study all of the doctrines, and then at least you have to understand any of the Buddha Shakyamuni's followers, that their view is the ultimate truth is the luminosity of the Buddha nature, and the meditation or the practices as a combination of the compassion and wisdom, and then this action or contact or have to be non-violence and to have compassion others.
Tama Rimé Institute so the
So therefore, if at least if when we do Rimé, we practice and focus on all your own practices, your own tradition, and then the others you have a good perception to non-judgmental. So how you non-judgmental or more perception, good perception, because we have to think of, oh, we all is the follower of Buddha. So the others, any other traditions, something you practice in, they all had incredible realized masters come, and they established incredible doctrines and everything. So therefore, they must be very good. That kind of attitude we have to establish. Also, we have to think about is how is powerful negative karma if we judge a dharma or judge noble beings.
If
we are beginner, then we don't have really very clear or pure of wisdom or knowledge of the hearing and contemplate and meditative mind.
Lokta the chi, Nyomong ba the Mang Jagdikatazo, Naransogan Damka de la non tritang. Young Tapanyakinanga non trit the Mangi.
So when we have our knowledge is too small and knowledge and wisdom is too small, and we have too big ignorance and too many afflictions, then of course we something we right or wrong is mostly wrong.
Tayindikatazo, Takabre, Chujin Jantala, Nantonabi Chujin Jantala, Chik Shatang, the Laptang, and Rostang, Chik Lorji, Tanakatang, Chik Rangi Yilla Mandova, Kamtang, Mantamba, Tadamambo Shongi, the Shondi Kavla, Rangarangla, Tara lived that genie, Rangarangam Tangteni. Ni Jena Nyomong Bamong Yoris, Ni Jena Lokta Mambo Yoris, teaching Tandang Ni Gang Tongatang, Gang Shapadang, Ni Shabim Duji Tokyo and the Dela, non true Nibar Yori, Nyambego Logi Chigo.
So therefore, when we are judging the other traditions, their history or their conduct or their viewpoints and everything, when we see they have some errors or something is not something unpleasant like that kind of rises, that time we have to just remind ourselves. And so I have more ignorance than the wisdom, and so that not necessarily my judgment is right. That kind of remind we need. So if we have not enough criticism ourselves, and then there is no way we can have the pure perception. So we just have to remind ourselves, if we have problems or disease in our eyes, we cannot see everything clear as it is. Similarly, if they have afflictions and pride and the kind of, and then we don't really see the reality. So therefore, the Ancient, the Noble Benz, they're saying you should not have too early judgment for any doctrine.
Tatela Ndurdina Ranglingla Nyamlin in the Hobion, Nyamlin consequence Shedutang. Yanlingla Kangni Chini, the Tanang Yangju, Teniki Kongla, Rimitan that you are some do.
So therefore, if you very briefly, Rimé means you really focus your own practices, and then you try to non-judgmental or pure perception others. This is probably the most simple way to do it. So even myself case is like that kind of Rimé. I'm not knowing everything, all the traditions, viewpoints and practices very well. This is my opinion or my perspective of what I think of the Rimé. So this is, you can criticize if you have some thoughts. You can have questions. You can debate or you can defeat all the points. It's up to you. So if you have questions, I tried my best to answer. So now it's questions. You can have questions about Rimé or the other previous the teachings we already had, and any questions you think is important, of course you're welcome.
I heard like Chogyal Namkhai Nobu said in Tibet, not only Nyingmapa, Kagyu, all these 4 schools, but also there was Theravada and Zen schools also in Tibet surviving. So I would like to know whether Rinpoche has a record of those traditions within Tibet that he have found, even in minor concentrations, or is that statement valid?
You mean they exist now, you said?
No, not now. In the past, Tibet was a country where all schools of Buddhism existed, even Theravada. Even Hinayana was there in Tibet.
Okay. So Chulgenam Kinorba Zerkadana Tandaga Wokananga Uchendi Chuljiche Movje Dana Tumezakonda that it's Handamarata, the Wombotan, the Matseda, the Terman Jamboda, the Shamaya Nachuyon Redox, the Denneres.
Oh, yeah. Land Zipjang Chow in the
So this is, I give you very details of answer.
Pola Tirab Dumba Mun check Chilik the Mountain to Pombori Lamna Chocoyoris.
So before the 7th century, you can say most of the Tibetan religion is Ponpo.
Tani Tirab Dambani and Zonte, no batare, Totambo de la Carazigonego, no batella, Higmambo, you can't see your my children, Mambo, your my children, Stigma to your money.
And my tissues in my, okay, thank you. Chisigo Yaskers, my Dimati.
Gini. I did of them be Gini, the Gora. Ah, number Tararis, Tomatara, Tabachimbo Tararis.
So after the 7th century, the Buddhism flourished in Tibet, but this is Mahayana tradition.
Tabachimbo Tanganga Timian Tariori.
So this the Mahayana the Sutra and the Tantra is the flourished centrum.
Tomato changes the Churkutariori, Tinala, Do Yori, Tinala, Nayori, Dodinia Chicana, Nikanyam the Chomari.
Most of early the Mahayana is the Avalokiteshvara Sutra. So in this sutra you have Sutra and Tantra both.
Tachek Teravata Chong Aridina, Chong Aridin. I don't know Nitan Deva Nerva Cardina, Nerva the Toma, Tirab Japanese, Zonte, Pok, Rapson Toma, Sama Mugdan Las Rapto Shong at the Toma, the Twa Teravata, Jean Latin, Vigona, Tanajin, the Rizon Latin, the Rapto Shong Maton, the Rizon Latin, and not Rapto Shong Yoma.
So if you say Theravada exists there or not, it is because all our Vinaya we focus in Niften Deva, Nyangashita.
Niften Deva?
Yeah, that Tibetan.
Mula Sarvasti Vadin.
Yes, that one. That's one Tibetans follow. So this is the Theravadan. Without this, we don't have any Vinaya, and we don't have any Vinaya ordained. All of them, we rely on that.
Nitan Lavan the Gelon Rimato, or Naran Sogo. Tanaka Deo Georgi and Nitan Diola Kumita. Nitan Deo Georgi and Nitan Deva, Lapio Mario.
Oh, then. So, yes. This is Niftan is not the one of the 18th. The Niftan means the fully ordained and senior monks.
Derwala Teni, Rapto Shon Shatari, Derwa in the Coranto Tandaga, Katakwa members on Jimara, the Dutch thief shop.
So Tibetan have Vinaya exist. So this Vinaya is always come from the
Orthodox school.
Derwa.
Tripitaka?
Oh, no.
Vinaya?
No.
Vinaya Bagatari.
Kanjur.
Vinaya, yeah, Vinaya. So Vinaya is come from Theravada.
Oh, yeah. Then the Tanda about the chicken, a poke, children, Tamagananga, Rapshon, the Dictato, Tabachembu, Rapshon, the Chokajika, your money. Tell us 10, Tamashongi.
So there's no such thing fully ordained by Mahayana only. So all of them rely on this Theravada Vinaya.
Then I think some years ago, along than just the GTO, Tinang, Namta, Tumkang, the Kojo, the Cardina, Gendabi, the Raptor that you order. Tinala, Derby Laglin, Chiviamba, Chonjo Mato, Naka, Chukunda, and Yamji Batana.
Churjita. So there is 18 different sections in Sami monastery. This is one of them is this Vinaya section. This section you cannot have any others, only that. 12, sorry, not 18. So this is still exist.
Niba the Jamba Chang, Sugar Garden, and there are Jamba Chang to show Medina, Yang Shong Yoris, Tanda Naran so Jangir Gushoni. Jangir Gushoni, Seratarni, tanda chig na don jang ku chok khol po ba jigla thakman del gona ti del no ngang kan khaji chong.
So also there is also Vinaya alone exist. The Buddhism come from Jangir, which means the Yunnan come from to Tibet. That and this some parts they practice only this. So that means they are only Theravada.
Yunnan kabre na Yunnan. Yunnan ge jog da ta chuje tong da ngambo da chong de tang kabla thangma da ta pok orang.
So when is Tongtsengambo and Tongdetsen during that time, the all Yunnan is under the Tibet.
Tani jima sobu makabjamni mambo tor songari taga ti jini tanaga thaman gumba khashi yang thachinan jer songa yore khashi tani me bacha songa yore.
So after that, sometime the Mongolian army disrupted these areas. That time, some of them they converted to Mahayana, but some remained.
Go songa.
One second, my last question.
Okay.
I would like to know, because now we know the 4 main schools of the Tibetan Buddhism.
5.
5, yes. Jonan, the question is about Jonan, mainly the red hats and the yellow hats. Is there a difference in the uniform when it comes to Jonan? Because Sankhepa we can easily identify with the white skirt, and Nyingmapas like red, and Kagyu similar. Is there any difference that we can identify Jonan school in the uniform outside?
다 실그 추지 첨보 시세지 요가지 되다 저는 난츠그 nga 요가다다 이 사케바네즈나 뜻딱 탐시도 콤바 챕터 아랍스 시템라들이 장고 마로도 세로 디전데 사케 건지 까로도 다시 관계도 발라야 지금에서 요 그때 차이디데 차가 각각 시템들이 건지가 하라티네 각각 시템들이 다나 저는 건지가 각각 시티오늘에서
Oh, Kandi nikam dawo na sacha chanda na chigo ma to konje kaka chigo na chana goshi thamka mari.
So right now only such a children have this different cloth. Others you cannot differentiate it.
Moma jarji gichul gana lola tiglo go daga chabra shia tadaga samno ji yosari tadaga minya tangdu.
So long time ago the Chinese traditional Buddhism maybe they differentiated with the cloth and robes.
Pola pok gichul chakala tiglo go minya tangdu.
So similarly Tibetan traditions a long time ago they made some names with what the color of the cloth.
Taga chonang gitiglo vichapar gimje samnandana rigdan jagayo ritala yakbo.
So if you want to differentiate chonang, then you look at this tanka. So Shambhala Dharma kins there. So maybe you look at their cloth.
So you have to go to Shambhala to see different.
Temu se in chonang la amusar ke jamo to sikbore ma to la amusar gitiglo jamo dus.
So Jonawa doesn't have any difference of that cloth, except the heart is sometimes a little bit different. So is that enough for your answer? Any question?
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the West, many students have access to, we're very fortunate to have a lot of access to Dharma from many traditions. But one challenge comes that we learn the first tradition that comes to us, and we start accumulating practices and understanding in one tradition, and then we encounter another tradition that maybe works better for our needs, And then we have inner conflict, how to practice. It feels like we're abandoning one. If we take on the other, how do we balance these in a Rimé approach? All of the different practices we encounter.
제가 납시간 존나 실그 다다그 손님 침보제고난다 까라상오제고난다 다 주짓 망옥 라마마 셔니 축송들에스 다 손님 상오들에스 쇼식니 이나요 다 강가르지 쳐도 그지나 통당보 지금 주적직 그 주용 되게 다 공식 때 지금 냠린다 이 때문에 거기때 야 주저전 봐서 그 지금 주도 톱송나스 되게 때 냠린에 거기서인데 되게 이 양음악에 대한 방당 거는 데다 또 무슨 지금 생각나 나 바다에 가 야 마파디나 야 따라게티 악사와 지금 대양 지금 선랜도 요판다고 또 라나 한토 쳔보요는 또 무슨 나와요 셔 다티미가 강가르 쓰게 되었지 다티다 다지 친구들의 리메이나 야 호요다시
어이야 나는 또 보기 출진 깡당깡이나 당원도 로도 나바비나 지그리 잠로나 지그리 셈친나 지그리 도르지 생화나 지그리 지가 뭐 제조다 지그리 당니 뒤서나 니 상마더 리미티잖아 뭐저 깡양만도 상고요 리미 했다고 그 상고요.
So I think that's all Tibetan traditions we have, all refugee bodhicitta and all these practices, preliminaries, and then and education, everything is just same. So therefore, I can't see any problems to be Rimé, and it is naturally a kind of Rimé.
then 다 랑가 스타라 찍때라 인지니 랑가 감당 왕보당 텀바 랑가 지금 등이 일람 척그 잠지 때에다 막 찍땐 주진 찍라 깡바 찍때라 가리디나 땅차부군이 임직지 로종지 근데 주진 연당 연도 띠 연락 암 차시던 도와지 그군이 인데 지나 싸와양 마더봐 연락양 마쳐봐 리와양 마쳐봐지 사카레.
So if you practice thoroughly and study thoroughly and a stable way of one tradition you take as a full path, and then the others is like more complement and more support. That kind of approach is the, if you do this, then it's like tree. The tree have plenty water and not dry at the branches and flowers and everything. Is this way is better.
Oh yeah.
That also the ngumagata fondani the takagiti takagiti gaga samjana ngumata fondani tigiti nichun raw the yonare chamofako kare.
Yonere yedam fondin jiba nguduk jikak biyonde teli dig jonjo on mari.
So yes, because this first, if you have yitam, and then you abandon that yitam, is obstacle of get cities.
So.
Tendi zonde kwarje bago tanda songo yo lama chigla kende jina nanto lama gar di nanto lama chen goren di lama thama la kora ta bayin yeda masti wang ta ta yedam thama pang jang ne yin der ko yon yeda masti de yang yedam gang dang gang dem na thama lami ngor de yang na ta gen de ke yo de.
So therefore Kajupas say if you abandon one lama, that means you abandon all lamas. If you abandon one yitam, then you abandon all yitams. So all the yitam deities, you have to think of the same nature of the lama. So Dzogchen Basen most important, you remind always remembering the appreciation of Lama, and in this single point is most important.
라마당 꼼촉라 따빠 심천라 냥지 마용이 땀박 섬근앙도 룸탐첸더 대비요.
So Lama and the three jewels, you have the faith, and then you have the compassion to the sentient beings, and then you remember in these three is everything included, all the practices.
더하고는 더 방고지 가능요 말.
So if you do that, then you no need abandon anybody.
초가직 니마직니다 똥마톱는 그 방자가 말이 냥나 요리 마르가니 방자나 그 방와리 마토 가브진 트로비진 티토크 마토 나랑 더 용거도.
You abandon some rituals doesn't mean you abandoned. Abandoned means you dislike them and you hate them. That kind of this kind you don't have time to do this. This kind of happens everybody.
Many people feel great anxiety, very anxious when they can't do all the practices that they are supposed to be doing, and so very difficult.
Yeah, new mambos the same not the harkures. The kache chokas jing don jimao na ngana chik the chenyam li chi dio di te ye jimao. The de har sik kache sem na the non ta chimbo sakyo ni. The chi don the hindra wa na di chakana ra wa the kanon da the tim ze yok yo na ris.
어 당이 때라 때라 렌jak요. 때라 점가나 ngala katakao ni pe mabu chong.
그래.
저런 그 라민들이 killin지 담자지 니체크 연지 kil랑장도 어디 제거. 강정마도 killing 그 만들 라고. 나타니 지니 제거 그래 라고.
So he has got many other people that kind of same questions from many places. So his answer always saying, "Oh, if you really promised it, then you have to admit what what you promised. You have to keep the promise, but you should not promise everything easily." That's his answer.
몰람당 레와 killing 대자간 나그 말이.
So the aspiration and hope and promise is not same.
레와 짱 척거리. 몰람 립 척거리.
So you can hold hope, you can aspiration, and you.
killing 강정마 하지네.
So you, but you don't have to promise.
Can I say something? Because Helen and I were talking about that yesterday. Actually, I feel. I'll just explain to him first.
Okay.
Okay. 我昨天和 Helen 我们还说了 ，Helen 问我，然后我说其实因为每个派的感觉不一样，比如说格鲁就是特别 logic， 特别有逻辑性那种的，然后如果是就是集中在格鲁的时候呢，就是很尖锐的那种辩论啊什么的，但是时间一长的话又觉得很怎么说好枯燥，然后就是每个派的感觉不一样，而且那个大脑到一定的程度，你只能吸收那个些了，然后如果再进行不下去的时候，换到另一派的时候，其实大家就换一个不同的角度去看问题，然后又能再吸收进去，其实这个样子倒更适合，更能帮助学习。I was just talking, Helen and I we talked about that yesterday. It's actually kind of
Chinese?
In English.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just trying to tell them first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's actually a different sort of like Grupa has a very logical, sharp debating approach, very logic. But then if you go through it for a long time, it becomes a bit boring, and person tend to be from me, I'm just talking about myself. I can become a bit mechanical, and at one point, I just can't take in anymore. Like the whole system doesn't absorb any nutrition anymore. And then at this point, I might go to do, depending on how I feel, I might go to do my Sakya studying or read some Padma Sambhava's teachings and that kind of, like from the great yogini, yogas, their own experience, and then they tell the host in the way how they approach is different, and somehow like different pair of eyes are opened, and I start to absorb that again. And yes, with all these different like aspect, different pairs of glasses, sort of make me keep growing, and the interest is also keep growing.
Hi, that's the idea. Ngaran so changing na song go da. Simchen ton shi sha shir hong mu tan ga dang to ri hong de go da hong ji la ting go yo ro. Ta hong ji la tin do di to ri bong la tin bar sha di di ga da. Ta ni ka ren tham re yang na so re jong de chi go yo re. Ta ma ji de ga da ho yong yin nang da, tu ba yin nang da, san ba yin nang da, gu ba yin nang da. Tela, tela si to tun da din tham jong ma si na, ta da ge chula chun tham min na pan gan nyun ba de ji yo ta da chang do ge. Ta ge ka bre tham de go jo to tham ji ge song ja yo re, ngun chung gun khit da ba nam ji je jong zma mi ba de.
This is as Shanti Deva said, there's 4 ways or 4 support as you can take, and so if we too much starving and too focus without understanding and or inspire, and then sometimes that kind of happened. So that's why you need some break, and the break if there's no break without inspiration, and then it becomes like that kind of, that is normal. And this is already said all the noble beings, so you have some break, it's okay.
Saji jom dan de jong ji la pe ba de ji yo de wa shol la jong ji da ta nga ra ko ba jam ni na ta na ban do ti jun da to da wa ke bre go yo.
So even Buddha Shakyamuni taught us Jongji. Jongji is monks have 3 months summer retreat, summer rainy time, rain retreat. Yeah. So after that he advised to go some Jongji. Jongji means you relax and go everywhere and kind of rest.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I wanted to talk about, what do you think are the skills and methods for having a constructive debate, but in a secular setting where, you know, people aren't monks and they haven't been formally trained and they're emotional and everyone has a lot of different views. Like, how do we have, constructive conflict?
Constructive conversations?
Yeah.
Or dialogue?
Well, I'm actually talking about conflict, about people, and dialogue, about people having very different views. Like, how do we negotiate this when not everyone has a formal Rimé view? They might be emotional. What are these skills?
So, sopazi jo to tusongo nang kete sopazi jambonda te uchaka kochagata di mascha pomogna sopazi chinai ji panbadang panjidan bad 용고를 했어. 회나 되게 못함지도 또 소파라도 납상을 말했어. 되게 소파가 중디 대랍상을 말 되게 그체가 서로와는 담다 삼트리랑 담다 흑체 모여를 했더니 서로와는 흑체 모여를 되게 딥쇼라 다 되게 시작하고 디 소파도 견도 문제라 노파다 문제라 판톡제즈 lokjet tashi 나르세.
소바 장디가 다소 당보랑 아무게도 야보지 하고 거리 아무게도 야보지 하고디 소비르라면 난다 정글라 소비 정글라 장 소바 지나 다지 판바마도 오노바 메지나 오리.
So first, when we debate, before we have to know what is your motivation and purpose of the debate. If we have really pure motivation and purpose, then perhaps never harm.
Oh yeah, sopa je dikta to ni tada jini phatra towa dang tilan sopa dang solan ji dikta to ni nyomo ba Maribat Ngola Doto Ganaji Jatakandu, Maribat Mepa Ganaji Jitakandu, Nishera Goni Gonta Gandam Herkandu, Jambala Ripi only Ganagandu, T Ripi Stola, Ni Sherap the Yarajik, Tornaji, Pamba Gandandu, Teta Totambo, you can tell Samlo Dana, Sopa Gidi Tivada Samari.
So when first we started the debate, if we think of that you concentrate on this debate, purpose of this debate is how can I develop my or improve my perception, and what kind of challenges the other people have, and the challenges how can improve my limit understanding. If that kind of the full purpose is you focus in the afflictions, and then maybe not become harmful.
Tambo ni nga jergo sen phamgo samba ga jerpham go samlo de sikchimbo jini te amir de jerja jini ngama jambala ngorkur kanda ton thokandus na mojamba gandalam na ngilan de jago samba go karidina sen phambar chepi samlo khona ga rajer jamba go samlo khona ga to ba jidi ta to nyomo ba phet yo sare.
So instead when you start debate, if the main purpose is you are win and the other people lose, and it's a very competitive attitude, then is perhaps have problems arise.
Sopa sabanga no son rambi chet sopa jina angi nyomon pher kare la kudu. Sopa la tenni maripa jershi ba tang shirap kong de pher chepi amugira jerja ka goni sopa jina pamba ma to no ba yo mari ngi namjin dana la pyo.
So I say always that if you debate, the purpose of debate, you try to compete in who is sharp, more sharp. That kind of attitude, then you have problems. But if your full purpose is how can I reduce my ignorance and how can I improve my wisdom, then no problems.
Tangbo ni ga tangbo da kare de kono ngana do chamba phomo ji na tangbo ni ga na lam jang je la to tang sang ka ka la jang do sar pa na pe ma bo jang do so ka chama na che to na ga mo jang yang ta sar tong go yo le den na yin na te tam chi ga go mo du sam go do tangbo ro lang ga na ba jan ji go ni song na chi tab de yo wa tang ta na yong sa re sam go do pham ba te li jang pham ba chen du sam go.
So nowadays people have kind of like this establishment debate, and everywhere lay people debate in monk's way, doing like these things, but he thinks it's unnecessary. That is this is sometimes maybe dangerous, too competitive. Instead, if you just have kind of a discussion, open discussion, it's more gentle way.
Tani dovshola sopa je ama to ngakjola sopa je ate ngala nga tani muba mi kare dina te tawati lanji ne chokole ma to sopa je jo te ngakjola kare dina ngakjok tam thu de be ma ba nyam bo ring gar ma choksa de yo ale ta kali khondu samge.
Also, the debate is only suitable for in sutra part, but in tantra part, I personally don't like debate. And in debate, in tantra part, maybe you have kind of question and answer, but is to debate is a little bit of disrespect.
Mato shata dang de gombi na la soba thik dik da zo ni ndo shok la soba chukure shi ba la jap chur jing khang dik tin shen de ni jang ji gao chu dang jap chur dang chang ma jing khang dik tin yan na nga shok la soba ji min de khang dik tin.
So, and our monasteries, they establishing the debate approach. I always support and with joy to the sutra where they can debate, no problem. But tantra way, I always disagree. Have debate. Okay, this is maybe enough.
We have time for maybe one more.
I would love to hear Rambo body story with the dog. More.
So mu te jalu ya tansani te chagin da jiba son jambo discord tarong kelis kona dox.
Ha tang ni te ngala sha ji tang me ba yo ni nin sa ma bo sha na do ko ma ri. Te la yi chi jim ka nyong nyong ji ri te ka ri na rang la ni ba me ba da mo sham ba ge yi chi chi da je kum du.
So I have so many things to talk about this. Even many days you cannot finish this.
Fantastic. We stay.
But this is other people's qualities. So when I have this kind of quality, then it's telling stories not many people believe. So kind of pointless.
Ka ri na mo sa dang sai na rang la ni ba me ba dang. Rang ge ha ko ma thab je te la thang ma yi chi je gu.
So whoever the people, something is their own out of own capacity, then people don't really believe and they don't really trust.
Ta ga nap sho ko ma na ba nap sho ko ma ri de la tham ma ri ko yo ma ri. Tham ma ri ko me di ge da do me na me ba thang je di chen na thak chu ji ge dang a lem jo ji ri. Ga di yang thak chu ji ge da le wa ma to. Ma ran to thang ma chu ni yim ji ge la ma shi dan do ko ma du.
Especially in the Western country, you don't have the logic system Tibetan has. So when you don't have that logic system, then you always kind of black and white. So if you already decide one, then it's difficult to change.
Ta ben na ngaran so yin na ngon jir ba ji yin na nga ta ngon tok tham ma di na ngon sam ge tham ma ge ni dun ji go ge yo re. Te la ma ni na ji ngon sam ma me ba re di ni ngaran so ge ta da lab ge yo re. Te ko jir ji yin na ji khon tham ma ge jar go ge de ji khon tham ma de no chok la shi kam du. Ji khon tham ma ge mar ni bi ton de la ngaran so ge sim de ko jir ge jala de la yi chi ji ni ba yo mi am Reji martok bisa la via jo martok me par ni pare de ni ngana son jo mare te khon tu me par ni pare de ri parche tin jo du.
So for us is of course if something is obvious and you can detect obvious level, that is great. But if something you cannot detect from obvious level and it's kind of a hidden situation, then you have to use logic. And something go beyond logic, then we don't make conclusions and instead we say we don't know yet. But in the West culture seems like if they didn't find, then kind of put in a category not exist.
Ma ramba jini rojo de la gar chimbo dang za chimbo dang da chitoko nang la shida gar chimbo che kum.
So these three valid perceptions they don't think about much, and instead the first one, obvious level, exists or not, that is the take as important in this culture and this society.
The Nanjing Ngaraso, Zambo Langamo, Mang Chipa Jigla, Tusam Gomsum Gananga, Tuba, Sambi Sheriff, the Stibo Mato, Gombi Sheriff, Katanga Konto, Jakio Mari, the Indicabla, Young Koji Chad, and Shita Pio Mari. Because the most of the world and the people, they only focus in hearing knowledge and thinking, thinking and reflecting. But not this only knowledge they have, don't have meditative wisdom. So therefore you cannot see the most profound because you don't have that meditative knowledge. So your question is really good because even you have some doubt of that also makes the whole existence is make a shake. Tani Jaliba that you the Tani of the Tani Mari, I also Moyen Jar Gayla, Shandini Jamampu Shoni, Tonchir Koran, Tomba Chasona Lord Yori.
So the rainbow body is not something new. This is very long time ago. Happened in India, and then the towns completely vanished. Everybody. That kind of history we have.
Tapena ngano to Pakistan tanda go shola origin bi la otiana go shola nangba mi pa changjo ju to jiskin karidina ni la tin yori.
So, for instance, in the origin, the region in Pakistan become the Buddhist community vanished. It have two reasons.
Jingta toba toba mambo chagdi parchir ngana to nangpi mari da tong song yin la bi yori.
So one reason is because all the Buddhist people become Mahasiddha and Rainbow Valley, that kind of situation, these all Buddhists vanished.
Ni ba ta kachi te shola amaga yoni sama to jom ja chore.
So the second is the Islamic soldiers killed them and converted them. Converted.
Oh yeah. Ta ka jang ge chergan dang ji anyam dan jali ya song are de na. Ni tang bo ka thok ba ge tong shang chim bam de ju ti lo ji shakin.
So the regard about with dog and rainbow body, I'm going to talk about Kathokpa's Shangchip
Bum.
Shangchimbam.
Tong shang chim bam khorang pom bo ji de.
Tong Shangchimbam, he as a Bombo.
Ma de.
Huh?
Hon bo.
Oh, Hombosh. He is one of the leader of the community.
Tanda da wo yin na gamzi khul pei zong ge khong to le.
So if we look at now, is the Chinese government how they made the structure is Gamdi Zong and Pei Shangzia. Gamdi two.
Pei zong.
Oh, Gamdi two and Pei Zong under there.
Pei Shen. Ne.
Pei Shen. Yeah.
Da ge yi zi sam do de ji de na sa cha ji yo le. Dan de sa cha de yo.
Yi zi sam do. This is place.
Da na gomba chimbo ji ge shil dan da sa ta ni yo le. Mo ma yo de ma to thang ma gum thong ge yo ma.
They found a huge monastery under the ground.
Oh yeah. Da na ngom ma tong song are yo are di ni lo ji thang mi na yo are da na yin nang thang ma ge den da ji shong yong sa yo ba de thang ma ge tang sta ki de yo are chang yo sa ma la ge.
They have some story a long time ago. There's a big monastery, but they all vanished. But then many people didn't believe, so because they didn't see anything, it's completely empty grass. But now they found it.
Sagni ge mo chang ma la de la den nin jali wa ma bo dang song wa de ju sagni rang ge nga jin na cha tang ge jali ba tong shong si sa cha re de ni na yin de khang to nga jin la yo.
This kind of story is oral, the local people's oral story.
Dong shang chim mong ge ripta mang bo je bi yo ne. Gomba chim bo yo le. Chawa pe mang bo. Tama to ayak tang li yang mang bo yo.
Tong Shangchimbam, he found many monasteries and many retreat centers, and a lot of monks and also a lot of yak and sheep.
Tama to chirgen jaga yo.
A lot of dogs.
Jima khorang jali ya tang du kabla khorang jali ma matang ge ngol la lik ta ton jali ya tang.
Before he become rainbow body, even shepherds become rainbow body. First they killed all sheep and eat it. And then everybody criticizes, oh my God, this lama even killing sheep and eat sheep. It must be very bad. Then he said, everybody come and look at. Then he put all the bones, the shape, and put it inside the skin, and then put outside.
Oh yeah. Tani sekur jigda bi gadi lig thangma ya lang ni sombo chagni rango lan do jaga.
Then he do it like this, and then all the shapes stand up, and they went on the grass.
Oh, tani ni lig kan yo sai yo mari lig sabat charang dun chenang de la bi.
He said, I never killed any sheep. As you seen this is your illusion.
Oh, tani ta charang to lig da zo la ta la bi.
Now you go and look at the sheep, what they're doing.
Tani korang rig pa ki ni lig da zo ta nya bar jaga jaga lig thangma ka le injali ta zo.
And after that, he stayed in the meditative mind, and he included the all shapes, shape, and then all shape become rainbow body.
Tani thangma hali ni kola tapa chi mangbo chi tsara yong korang ge ngoma korang pombo yin diga rawo ta so yang ko ramla yong nyam nin ji yo.
Then everybody follow him and practice from him, and even his enemies, before when he is leader, he has many enemies. So this even enemies come to him, and then they did receive teachings and practice it.
Tani lo jing yang la bi wa de ta lo ni xiang la bi wa de ka ta yang lo mangbo ji ga thangma nyam de ta da ge gum jam ni da ni ta ge thangma dev chi de jali da so.
So then after that, some stories say 12 years, some stories say 20 years. Either way, they practice all together many years, and then later on everybody become rainbow body.
Disappear.
Oh yeah. Tanda pokasami mambo la chong du sibu sa jamare.
This is one example, but many other places happened in Tibet.
Kare de gona to lo ngarang to go kong ni yara ya sina. Lo ngat ya dang tib ya den ya ti baro la chong yo. Ma che ju. Oh yeah de.
So this is when this happened is more like 500 years ago, 600 years ago, 700 years. That time happened.
Asit lo samja ge nang lo la yer ma tanda de shi chen bu chong yo.
That's very strongly happened within 300 years.
Tani tirap chik ba da tirap chigni bi nang lo la yang tanda dev chik da mambo jali da song ya mambo chong yo.
After that, 11th century and 12th century also many things happened like that.
Oh, tanda ke chok ji ma to tani